Welcome to Resource Thursday with GoodAccess. I'm your host, Paco Lebron. This is the place where you can learn how to run your IT service business. Whether you're a one-person shop or leading a team on the journey, this is the place for you. Let me go ahead and introduce my co-host. We have none other than Rick Smith over at Renactus Technology. Rick, how are you today?
Doing good, doing good. Can't complain today. Can't complain at all.
You can't. It's only been 2 hours in the morning for you, probably three. It's a great Thursday. We're almost to the weekend.
Hey,
And
it's
for
10
me, it's a
o'clock here.
sad moment.
4 hours.
4 hours?
Sorry.
Oh, okay. So sorry. I'm a little under ambitious for this morning as we go along. But I would like to also introduce our guest, and I'm super excited to have him on, Lubos Milan from GoodAccess. Lubos, how are you today?
Thank you, Paco. Thank you very much for having me. I'm doing great. So, saying hi to Rick. Thank you for having me too.
Sure, sure.
Yeah.
I know we've been trying to coordinate this for a
Yeah.
little bit to have you on. I'm super excited to have you on to talk about GoodAccess. But before we go into that, I like to talk about my favorite thing, and that is TechCon Unplugged. TechCon Unplugged is September 16th to the 18th at the Hilton Rosemont Chicago O'Hare. There's a couple updates. We're in talks with Huntress for a pre-day event, and maybe, possibly, we'll see the first time in front of everybody that possibly have him back for a Microsoft 365 workshop. We'll let the audience go ahead and we'll kind of put him on pressure to see if he can come back. He was a big hit last year. It's been requested, and hopefully we can get him on. We had a little bit of initial talks, but hopefully we can bring him back. The new agenda is up, so it's still being updated as we speak. So head over to TechCon Unplugged, take a look at what's going on over there. We have new vendors that have joined on, so we've also updated that as well. And we have our great Saturday night social that is being sponsored by Gradient and Acronis. So definitely going to be a great time in Chicago in the business district there. It's going to be a great opportunity to network with your peers, network with partners that you have probably been working with or want to work with and find out more details. And again, having that great one-to-one conversation, because as I like to say, and Rick likes to make fun of me about, is where the magic happens. Tickets are $299. However, if you keep your eye out, if you follow a couple publications that, maybe Channel Pros soon as our official media sponsor, maybe listen to a fellow podcast over at the IT Business Podcast, might be able to score yourself a discount code. So I would stay tuned. Or for the most value, you can join our community, and we'll talk about that a little bit later today. But head over to techconunplugged.com and go ahead and get your ticket today. All right, Lubos, again, really appreciate you joining us. I know it's late for you over there, early for us over here, but a little bit about yourself. Why don't you tell us about yourself, how you kind of got into the industry / how did you find your way over to GoodAccess?
All right. On my side, I started some time back, always been involved in IT from my master degree. I actually started in Americas, in Mexico, where I started to do a bit of, it was more like IT consultancy.
Mm-hmm.
So we deployed one of the largest SAP deployment in the world at the time. Then I started digital agency, also in Mexico, transferred to London, where I headed the EMEA business for one middleware. I got some involvement also in VMware in Europe, and then I transferred to Asia. So that was a third continent, where I started also as an IT consultant, specifically for outsourcing company, and then slowly transitioned into network security, where I stayed for a few years lately. So in different vendors, developing business in Asia, and now for GoodAccess global business for channel. So that's in short for me.
Very good. Very good. Now, obviously, you are over at GoodAccess now. What's your role there? And why don't you tell us a little bit about what GoodAccess is?
Yeah, so I'm VP of sales, currently focusing on developing the channel globally. We've heavy focus on United States, where we have most of the business. And in terms of GoodAccess has been in the market for a very long time. This 13 year, if I'm not mistaken. It started as a traditional VPN, pioneering actually the VPN industry back then. But then it transitioned into a enterprise solution, so not individual VPN. and that was in 2020 when we started the business, and it rapidly grew. It was very successful business. So we got a first investor and grew team. Now we are, since last November, looking into growth of the channel where we deploy the partner program, the partner portal, and started to take in partners. Majority of the partners actually coming from US, but they are across of even from Europe and Asia. So very proud of the rapid growth, and we are in the stage where we continue actually thinking on three-digit growth for global business, and heavily influenced at least 30% in US as well.
Very cool. Very cool. Now, I know that you mentioned that, you started off as a cloud VPN, but obviously it's kind of evolved into a much more
Mhm.
security solution. Why don't you tell us a little bit about maybe some of the features that GoodAccess has,
Mhm.
so that our audience can understand? Because I think a lot of our audience have heard of other cloud VPNs, some consumer, some maybe commercial. There are others that are that advertise as like cloud firewalls to secure their networks. There's zero trust that's thrown around. Why don't you tell us a little bit about how GoodAccess kind of dives into these areas as a product offering?
Yeah. So uh, basically, the simplest use case would be cloud VPN for enterprises. That we actually offers for free, first solution in the world for free for up to 100 users, unlimited. But it really has more features or more to do than just a cloud VPN. Practically, the best way to introduce this is a zero trust access. And in other words, we're practically creating the secure private network over public internet to make sure that the applications and network and data in the applications are secured. Now, practically, we can think of it as a software-defined perimeter with zero trust access on our gateway infrastructure that is deployed globally. And in terms of features, practically we can split into networking and security, which is converged. You know that there has been a buzz around SASE for enterprise business. We practically are very near to be defined SASE for small and medium businesses. Of course, in not full scale and feature set as defined by Gartner, but loosely saying, in terms of the networking, we practically offer the dedicated gateway with a static IP, the global secure private network, and then if the organizations of our clients or partners are geographically dispersed, they can add backup gateway to make also high availability environment. And recently we added split tunneling as well in terms of the networking. There could be what is really useful that makes it quite resonating solution for anybody who's looking at migrating to cloud or heavily using and like a hybrid environment. Could be cloud on-premise protection. We introduced cloud and branches, which is available from advanced subscription, and that can connect any cloud to and any branch of the organization to one cohesive network that is protected from public internet through the deployed gateways. So this is in terms of networking. Of course, security is really the exciting part of the product, where we have zero trust access control. So that's the main function. And of course, we wanted to make sure that this is a comprehensive solution, really more like a all what you need for small and medium businesses in terms of security. So we added the custom domain blocking, for example, in security, for simplicity of access, also single sign-on. There is two-factor authentication, which it's practically a must-have right now.
Yeah.
And this would be main features. Of course, there is also threat blocker, which is really nice. So a part of securing the network and applications, we added also the securing the access to internet, which is great against the phishing or malware when the users are connecting through their clients and browse on internet. We will be blocking the malicious websites that they try to access. So that is the core. Not to
Yeah.
forget, last one, encrypted internet access. So encrypted tunnels from the user's laptop, mobile, working from remote access to office, remote access to data center. The encrypted tunnel is really the core of the solution as well.
Yeah, I mean, exactly what you mentioned. So, John Dubinsky, when he was helping me out and really figuring out, all right, how do we step up our game, right? And we had a very big conversation of what's the next 3 to 5 years going to look like. And what we realized was not only were we having, the term that everyone was using was work from home, but really it's turned into work from anywhere, right? And remote work has really become this thing that everyone is trying to figure out, right? And trying to figure out where now we've lost the local security with our UTMs and trying to figure out from that aspect, everyone is off into their own parts of not only their own states, because some have relocated throughout the states here, but even across abroad in different countries. So we were trying to figure out a better way, and we knew cloud was the solution. And for transparency for those listening, I am a GoodAccess partner. So John actually was the one that found the product. We ended up trialing it out. We actually have quite a few people in the States, in Mexico, and in Latin America that really allowed us to really gain that security in one spot, and allowed us to get the static IP that we were looking for with that cloud VPN. But there's so much more that's in depth to be able to use into it, as you kind of mentioned with those security features. But Rick, I'll kind of throw this over to you on, obviously everyone's been talking about cloud and security and SASE, and there are some that have not embraced this. There are some that want to, jump into this mindset from looking at the old school servers and the old school firewalls and figuring out how to protect their clients. Have you researched on trying to do this? And what do you think would be some of the things that may deter an IT service provider from even jumping on? Because I think for you, like you've even mentioned that not even in this specific instance, but there's just so much to do. Like, how do you go ahead and try and vet something that is simple for our clients, but also that's going to be effective?
Right. And that, excuse me, that comes down to the whole bit of it is introducing a new, I want to say technology, but a new process, and having to explain it, and having to constantly get questions back at you. Well, and so that's the challenge. Well, we, as an MSP, I have to be faced with two things. When the pandemic hit and work from home became a thing, became the thing, we always looked at it as a temporary scenario. But work from home is here to stay now. Like, it's, as much as we want to get everybody back in the office, our job has expanded some now. Now we have to make sure those remote users are protected. We have to make sure those remote users are, using machines that are protected, using processes to access that are protected. So again, it goes back to the looking for a solution that's simple to explain to your clients and say, hey, I look at it the 3-click method. If I can show them how to do it in 3 clicks and I can explain it in less than, 4 sentences, then it's good. Because anything over that, they're going to lose. They're going to lose it. It just has to be simple. So that has been my quest. And you and I have talked about GoodAccess, and quite frankly, the only reason I haven't tried it has just been that matter of time, finding that time for me to first of all understand, and then me to and being able to implement it. But it is something I would say on my radar that, and a classic example I could have tried is I have a child in Europe now, who I could have had her running this all along, but we had to find other means. But
so what I was saying,
yeah,
I'm gonna throw this. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, it's good.
Okay.
I'm just saying it's just something I gotta you know, I have to take the time, and me as MSPs, us as MSPs, I know that a lot of us in my scenario where it's just finding the time, the energy, and the right solutions to go ahead and implement.
Right. And then I'm going to throw this back to Lubos, but like exactly like you just mentioned, it's simplicity, having the ability to explain it to your customers and our clients, depending on what term you want to use, as we talked about that the last two episodes. And how do you portray that? And that's what I love about GoodAccess. And it's not just me just saying it because I'm a partner and they're here, but like it's literally one button once you sign in. Like, and you can make it so simple for your clients that it will, and the great thing about working with them is that they take a lot of feedback into the support and understanding what they're doing. So one of my big things for them when we started, I can't remember, it was early last year, late last year, possibly even in the middle of the summer, we asked, okay, for me, I'm a forgetful person. So I've gone ahead and IP restricted, geo IP restricted all my stuff to this static IP. And I continue to keep forgetting to launch the app and hit the connect button after I've already had signed in. So they took that feedback and now they actually have it where it auto starts up for me now. So now it's like, it's in my face. Oh, hey, click the button. And that's what's so great of the auto sign in. They have the ability of doing SSO. So for those that are on the Microsoft 365, I will let you go into Lubos on the others. I don't know if Google Workspace is one of those items or not.
Also
it is.
Yeah.
Yep. And then there's other SSO opportunities as well. But I literally have all my stuff with the SSO. So it's not, that takes care of the two-factor. I go ahead and take care of that. I click a button and my team is good to go. And that's how we're planning to roll it out to all our customers. But going back to you, Lubos, when the team over at GoodAccess and even the owners, when we last talked to him, what was kind of the mentality of going into the space of simplicity, but yet strong security? Was there any like forethought on that as they were kind of releasing the software that you know of, or how did they just know that simplicity is going to be the way to win the game?
Yeah, maybe that was coming from the original solution, which was the VPN. I would need to ask the founders and share with you, but the VPN is actually out there and it's very easy to explain to everybody because who didn't use it in certain time. But at the end, the idea about IT, generally speaking, is that IT security and IT networking will converge for sure. So it will be consumed from cloud in the future. So having all the security networking features in one consumed from cloud without you even knowing about it, somehow like if you're running antivirus, we can remember probably 15 or 20 years back, you had so many pop-ups asking about, you want to update your antivirus or something. And now what you do is you don't even know it's out there, If you need to click something, it's because it's something serious. But generally speaking, this is really the idea. You want something that runs on background for users that they are not even aware of that. It's protecting them, same way like endpoint protection on antivirus. And so the idea of simplicity, that set up and almost like set up and forget, we wanted to bring also to administrators as well. So the admin wants it's practically auto deployment of the networking for the organization. When you enter to partner portal, it's automatically deployed. You invite all the users from your organizations, and then you assign based on the access rights and privileges to all the people to certain applications. We're really proud of setting it up in a very simple way as well. This is one thing that is actually very easy to comprehend, even for probably my grandmother, that you have an access card, like if you are entering to the building and you add one single access card for every person that can access to only certain door. So we actually call it in the product access card as well, which is practically a firewall as a service. So this is where the simplicity comes from. It's inevitable. Everybody will have to go there, all the security and networking vendors, and we'll just continue adding new features while not losing that simple touch for users and for administrators or for our MSP partners.
Gotcha. So we got a question that came in through on the YouTube side,
Mhm.
asking about a little bit of details here. So we'll see if we can get this answered for him. But ProTech guy wants to know, with the split tunneling, do you route HTTP, HTTPS, etc., outside of the VPN to ensure users are not speed limited by the VPN for basic tasks, or does that kill security?
Okay, this would be probably too technical for me,
Okay.
but I'll take this. I did take this question, of course, and if there is a way, we'll get back.
Perfect. So, ProTech guy, Kyle, we'll make sure we get that
Mhm.
answer for you here shortly. But yeah, we'll go ahead and make sure we bring that back there for there. But Lubos,
If we,
no, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, if we don't get an answer before the show ends, we'll definitely post an answer to your question in the comments.
Yep, absolutely. And then if not, I'll reach out to him directly and let him know. So and we'll make sure everyone knows for that matter as well. But Lubos, when it comes to talking about good access, and we've talked about the end users, why don't we steer it back to the IT service provider? And how does the solution help the IT service provider make money and save time?
Okay, so I'm glad that you mentioned both because we still think of it as a cost saving solution, even if it's hard to believe because there is the traditional alternatives. So the companies that are already security aware as customers, they would probably already run open VPN or hardware VPN, or they would deploy certain solutions there. Definitely running a hardware or software firewall in their local area network. But um, I would like to talk about is more like IT consolidation for partners. So you're getting a lot of features or functions on networking security that you can actually get for individual vendors or niche vendors. We are trying to consolidate those in all in one service and offer in a really good a price point for both partners that can be actually profitable out of that, and for customers that is not prohibitive for them to run this basic cybersecurity, and especially uh, because in combination, for example, with endpoint protection, we really believe that endpoint protection, network and application protection with good access practically gives you that basic layer of you're protecting your endpoint, you're protecting the network coming from your endpoints, and you're protecting your systems by placing them outside of the public internet and with accessible only through zero trust access. So in short, uh, the customers of our partners are actually getting, I would say, the elementary or the basic protection of their network and security for a fraction of cost of any other enterprise security that is there, that is literally prohibitive for them. So of course, solutions that are there, they know that that can do that for them, like Fortinet, probably Cisco, and so on. They simply know that if they go after the solution doing the same for them as a small and medium business, they will not be able to acquire it or run it.
Mhm.
And so that's one for partners. Of course, we want to make them profitable. Uh, from the start, we believe that if you don't if you don't use it yourself, you don't really believe it, you don't really know, you don't appreciate so much. So even us as an organization, we use it because we really value the information about partners and customers. We have the information in our CRM system, and this is one of the in our own internal system. So we protect as well our own data, sensitive data, and inevitably we have contractors working with us, and we do not want to give that access to anybody. So while we have our network outside of public internet, I'm, for example, sitting in Philippines right now before I moved to Europe, and we have colleagues from US and Europe. We are very sure that if they are accessing the top, the most sensitive or most confidential information, they can only do it through the software-defined perimeter through two-factor authentication connecting to them. So this is very hard for organization to find, and mostly I get a feedback from our partners that for them it was really hard to find solution that can do this simple protecting of the customer systems whether they is their own MSP solution, for example, file server run on their LAN and offering that like a file server services to their customers, and
Yeah.
or they protect their Office 365, to find a solution that will be so simple for them to deploy, to run in multi-tenant environment, and at
Right.
the same time, not to think too much about it and have a level 1 engineer support it when necessary. We don't really spend much time with our partners to even help them to deploy it, because it's so self-explanatory, and running GoodAccess to protect their customers' network and systems is really easy. So sometimes we get, as the organization, kind of anxious why is partners not coming to us with questions, and the reason because they already deployed it to customers without even asking us, and
Mm.
this is the first week from when they touched the solution. So we had actually in the last month or so 2 partners like that. They just came, said we deployed it, thank you very much, and they started to purchase the service and offer it as a service to their customers. So it was really pleasant to see that, that feedback.
Yeah, and I know that you've mentioned the partner program before, and I work with John and kind of working on some of the stuff for our internal stuff. But why don't you talk about the partner program? What's involved in like the involvement with a rep to an IT service provider, and then why don't we just go into commitments, pricing, and minimums, if any, to jump on with GoodAccess.
Okay, so the partner program is available as part of the different parts or different kinds of partners. So we have the partner program specifically for distributors, for affiliates, and for resellers or MSPs. And of course, it makes a lot of sense for MSPs and resellers to use our partner portal, where most of the information is available, so they can manage their, in the partner portal. It's pretty much one environment that can do everything. It's very mature. I was really surprised when I actually entered the company and helped to set it up. It is comparable to any very mature vendor that is launching after many years the partner program and partner portal. This is all available for our partners. Where you have practically everything from sort of deal registration through partner trialing. There you can manage the multiple customers in one environment partner portal. You can have all the sales and marketing resources there. There's access to support, and you have available also the contract right there. So in terms of commitments or minimum, we do not impose any commitments to our partners. We want them to find this solution as a core or fundamental solution for security of their customers in the future. So for us, is really for them to fully understand, when you have a customer concerned about attacks on their servers and or compromised account when they are when they are traveling outside of the LAN, if they are concerned, this is what we want our partners to actually offer as a simple solution for them to use, easy to deploy for the partners, and that's from that point. We be talking about price point. They're practically for partners. There are 3 tiers available. They're in either annually or monthly subscription based. So this is subscription based service. The 3 tiers: essential, advanced, and premium, starting from $4 per user up to $10 per user. And specifically for partners, we have discounts. And initially, even when they onboard the first customers, we can offer them additional discount for extra price sensitive customers, because they might work with an organization that want to connect practically just 5 or 10 IT administrators or developers. So we understand that sometimes concern also on their side that they can't plug in an expensive solution. So we are sensitive about this concern of our partners as well.
Sure. No, and that's great. I think that's a great opportunity for those trying to get enterprise technology to the SMB. And I just got educated about this not too long ago, where our vendors that we normally work with, to have enterprise technology implemented in those SMB type vendors is very hard because the demand is not there. and then trying to figure out how to implement that without the cost is the second hurdle that a lot of vendors and software vendors try to create. So that's good to hear that being able to a small business, a small medium business that we would have as our clients. We're going to take a quick break and then we'll go ahead with our lasting thoughts. We're a little over the show, but I want to go ahead and get into some lasting thoughts. But before we do, I want to talk about, for those that want to join our community, you can head over to patreon.com/MSP Unplugged. There we will have our updated subscriptions, which will be $5 a month. And there you will be able to not only get discounts to events and things of that nature from us, we'll have some exclusives and actually exclusive vendor trainings that we will be working with several vendors to help go through on their product and get into more details. So you have that one-to-one option to really talk and get your questions in an Ask Me Anything environment. So if that is of interest to you and collaborating with our online community over on Facebook where it's currently hosted, head over to patreon.com/MSP Unplugged and we will see you there. All right. Go ahead, Rick.
No, I just wanted to mention anyone who's not a member of the Facebook group who would like to be a member, you have to send, because it's still closed, right? So you have to send an email to info@mspunplugged.com and we'll be glad to send you, open up an invite for you and get you in the group.
Yep. So for those that have contributed and you are not in the Facebook group or purchase a ticket at TechCon Unplugged, hit our info@mspunplugged.com and we will make sure to get you inside of there. So, all right. Lubos, Rick, lasting thoughts. Lubos, I really appreciate you taking the time this morning, our morning, to share a little bit about GoodAccess. I know there's just so much to talk about, and we can only talk about so much in 30 minutes, but is there any lasting things that we may not have covered or talked about that you want to leave with our audience?
Yeah, maybe just inviting the MSP partners out there in US or globally that have those particular use cases. They don't need to be frustrated. There is a solution that they probably have been looking for to protect their applications on network for their customers. If they are looking after getting this done fast and reasonable priced, we are available for them. I think they can just reach out to us in channel@goodaccess.com. That's easiest way to remember. We'll be at their disposition after.
Perfect. And then if there's somebody that wanted to maybe speak with you directly or just talk to you about a couple of things, is the channel@goodaccess.com the best email to get a hold of you or someone from your team? Or if they wanted to speak with you, is there a different way to go ahead and connect?
Yeah, actually, they can use this one, the traditional, I would say, email way. But I'm available also on LinkedIn. So that will be also perfect way for them to get in touch. So Lubos Milan in GoodAccess in LinkedIn.
Perfect.
Easy to find.
Okay. Perfect. Lubos, really appreciate you taking the time to come out and talk about a little bit about the product and the services that GoodAccess has that is available. And again, another solution for our audience to consider as they're navigating this crazy old world for cybersecurity and the threat actors that are out there. Rick, it's that time of the show. Any lasting thoughts that you have before we sign off?
Yes. Well, Lubos, I also want to extend my thanks for your time today and for introducing us to GoodAccess. I think it's definitely something I'm going to look at. I'm going to make the time to do some investigating and get on top of it. So again, I do thank you for your time. I know the time difference for you is a challenge as well. So I'm really happy to have you here and glad you could make the sacrifice to be here. For those out there that can hear my voice or see my face, I'm just going to continue to reiterate, TechCon Unplugged is coming up. It will be September 16th to the 18th. So we are, as of today, I think less than 4 months away. So yeah, it kind of came quick, right? So I am going to, again, we continue to meet as a committee with a content committee of our peers that is helping to put some final ideas together to try to finalize, or at least to close to finalize, the agenda as possible. So we are still taking feedback. I mentioned this on the last show, but for those of you in the Facebook group, I'd appreciate it if you can go in and answer the poll that was put up on Monday, just to give us an idea if we are on track. Again, this doesn't work without you. You know, the whole purpose of all of doing all of this is to bring something positive, sustaining, and helpful to the community, so you can take it back to your businesses and apply it. So it's the whole reason why this exists, and it doesn't work without you. So we definitely take your feedback, you know, into consideration. We definitely take it, and we try to use it to make sure that we, you know, try to apply it to make sure that we bring to you a product that, you know, you're going to enjoy, and that you're going to, you know, say was worth your time and money. So again, I'm just going to reiterate, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, suggestions, hit me up, Rick at MSPUnplugged.com, or the info at MSPUnplugged.com. Go to the Facebook group. We're going to be dropping more and more nuggets in the Facebook group and LinkedIn, just to let you know what's going on and the progress we've made, so that you can know what's coming up. And hopefully that gets you excited and looking forward to coming. But again, I encourage everyone, if you can, just fill out the questionnaire, and I'll leave it there.
Sounds good. Wow, a little less than 4 months. We got some work to do. But
yeah.
But, you know, we appreciate those that have supported us. We appreciate you listening. Tune in every Tuesday and Thursday. Watch the video podcast on youtube.com/MSP Unplugged, or on Facebook.com/MSP Unplugged. We're also streaming live on our LinkedIn page. And I want to say the page is linkedin.com/in/MSP Unplugged, but I will get the updated URL because it is just fairly new. This is the second episode streaming over there. So we appreciate those that are watching today. Like, subscribe, hit the notification button to be notified whenever a new episode is available. But you can always take us with you on the go. We're on your favorite podcatcher apps. We're on Amazon Music, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Essentially, we're everywhere. So feel free to go ahead and Google us. If you can't find us on your podcatcher streamer, you let us know and we'll make it happen. But again, thank you for listening, and we will see you next time at MSP Unplugged.